As is the case most times in this conference, every weekend is important, whether it's the first one or the last one. And as we head over to Alabama, certainly there's a lot to play for. And everybody in this league has a lot to play for right now. I've been in a position over the years where the last 5 or 6 games in the league made a lot of difference in standings, and if you get an opportunity to go to the SEC tournament in many cases. This weekend, it's nice to know that you're going to be in the SEC tournament, but besides that, there's a lot to play for. And I know that Florida and Vandy are in the same position right now, but it's exciting, and we're going to go over and Tuscaloosa, and hopefully we can put together a good weekend.
Hey Ray, can you lock up a top 8 national seed this weekend?
Ooh, you're way ahead of me. I would say probably not, but I don't know. I honestly do not follow those situations very closely. The only thing that I do, and you've heard me say this many times, is can you win enough games in the regular season and SEC and non-conference to get to the postseason? That's kind of the only thing that I pay any attention to, and you know, hopefully we're in that position. But you'd like to play at home as much as possible, but I don't get too far ahead of myself in thinking about woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Coach, has this been one of the more challenging years for you as a coach due to all the injuries and other things that have happened?
Well, it has been in a lot of ways. You know, there's certain years where you kind of know who your lineup's going to be. You may juggle it now and then, or may put a guy off the bench to play. But you know, you tinker with your batting order from time to time, and there's been a few weeks here now where I've had to sit down and think about who's going to play, if we're going to have enough guys to play. And but it's been interesting. We spent a lot more time as a coaching staff trying to figure out what might be our best combination because of the injury situation. But everybody has injuries. Teams have situations to deal with. We might have had a few more than normal, but by and large, our guys have responded. They've tried to find a way to win anyway, and I'm so happy with this team from that standpoint. Regardless of what happens here on out, we've kind of, you know, had the good approach every day and tried to get in a position to win, and didn't make excuses and didn't talk about what we didn't have. We tried to focus on what we did have, and they've done a great job of that.
It's so tough at this level to be a two-way player, and you don't see many guys do anymore. How impressive is it that Steven, after not picking up a bat for so long, you tell him, okay, we need you to pick up a bat, for him to work himself into this kind of form? Talk about what he's doing for you right now, both ways.
Well, it is impressive. You can draw a lot of different analogies in different sports, but that's impressive. And as I was telling the coaches after the game last night, he pitched and then he took over the DH spot, and he looks like he belongs in there. When you look at him in the batter's box with his focus and his intensity and his swings, you really can't tell that he's been away for quite a long time. And I've said before, when he came here, he was a legitimate two-way guy, and the injuries kept him in a situation where he couldn't pitch or play. So it's been a tough road for him, but he is a unique athlete. But that being said, it's still hard to do what he's been able to do, and he's had some good swings in there. I know he's had a limited number of opportunities, but it's been impressive. I mean, I knew that I could put him out there because he was an athlete and he would do the best he could do, and I could accept that. But it's come a little bit quicker and easier for him than I expected. And he popped up last night once to the infield where he just missed it. And then the ball he hit to left center late in the game, he squared that ball up too pretty well. So it's hard. It's hard to do what he's been able to do, and we need him right now, and hopefully he'll give us a few more good at-bats and maybe a few more innings on the mound.
Yeah. And he's already been drafted twice as a pitcher. Do you still see his professional future as a pitcher, or does this maybe cause some people to look at him differently?
Well, I think that, you know, when you go into professional baseball, you sort of exhaust your opportunities until you stop. And he may be a guy that he goes in as a pitcher and then ends up being a player. Or some teams might have seen enough already that, you know what, I'm going to give this guy a shot as a player, and then we'll go back to pitching. It's hard to tell, but I think he's good enough. I think he's good enough. Well, you know what his future holds, I don't know, but he's shown at times that he has a good enough arm to pitch beyond this level, and he's shown enough athleticism and ability to play the outfield, swing the bat, that he might could do that as well. It's could be interesting to see what his future holds.
But this weekend, Ray, how do you look at using him, especially in the first game? Would he be an outfielder or maybe just a DH?
I'm a little bit, with some time left until tomorrow night to decide how we're going to play, but because I'm expecting Kilcrease to be on the mound tomorrow night for Alabama, it's likely that Neff will be in the outfield tomorrow. Because of his 60-so pitches last night, I don't think he'd be available on the mound until possibly a short stint Friday, but more so maybe Saturday.
Ray, you talked about the excitement of this weekend and what could be out there for you guys. You guys were in this situation last year with a good weekend against Florida. You could have taken the title. Do you think that's going to help? Is that still in the guys' minds at all? I think that might help them kind of carry them into this weekend? Well,
it could possibly help, but more so than that, it's the time that a lot of these players have put in that type of environment. You're talking about one particular weekend a year ago, but for many of these guys, going back to the beginning of the year last year, throughout the season, throughout this season, they've been in some situations, they understand it, they thrive in it in a lot of ways. And for me, I feel good about our players because I think in most circumstances, it's just going to be baseball. If we can play the game well enough at a particular time, it all unfolds. I don't think the factors that could be in play, inexperience, anxiety, being on the road, more pressure, I don't expect any of those things because we have Morales, we have Wingo, we have Brady Thomas and Michael Roth. We have guys that have been there. So I don't expect any of those things to happen that could exist if you had a team with a lot more youth and inexperience.
Do you have any updates on Brady or Adam, their availability this week?
No, I don't. I think that there's a possibility with Alabama's pitching situation, they're going to run out two or three lefties that may give Matthews a chance to swing the bat off the bench. He's told me I'm available to pinch hit, but that's been the extent of it. He hadn't said he could do more than that at this point. So until that status changes, that's what it is. I just saw Brady a few minutes ago. He's still got the boot on, and we were able to rest him yesterday. It's going to be kind of a day-to-day situation. And
you touched on this Sunday, but can you just illustrate how kind of incredible it is that there's 3 teams with 20 wins in one division, and that was kind of the way people saw it coming into the season, that it would be like this?
This conference, as you all know, is just grueling. It's you punch each other. A lot of good teams. I'm actually on an advisory committee with the NCAA with the selection of teams now, and we had a conference call a couple of days ago, and I'm sort of speechless. They're talking about the teams, and they finally got to me in the SEC, and I said they're all good. I mean, everybody is so good in this league that you beat up each other, and you look at the West and the records in the West. It's been that way in the East historically. It's been that way. It's unusual, and the fact that there's 3 of us sitting over there on that side with 20 wins. That year we won 25, I guess 2000. I look back at that and it still baffles me. And to win 20 games, you think you got a chance to win the thing. And it ain't going to work this time. But, yeah, I'm surprised. It's amazing to me that you got 3 teams at this point that have been able to get 20 wins with 3 to go.
With Michael tomorrow, I mean, just the fact that he's on the cusp or has a chance to have one more good start and be maybe the SEC Pitcher of the Year, what do you think that says about him, that he's been in this role and has an opportunity for that?
I think the beauty of athletics, regardless of the sport, is the unknown. And historically, you go back and you look at different athletes and different times and things that happened in a particular year. And to do what he's done to this point, if he doesn't do anything else, is been incredible for me. I said this before. There was never any doubt that he was the right kind of guy, that he was going to compete, he was going to battle, he was going to be the guy out front for us. But to have the numbers that he's had this year, I couldn't tell you that I saw that coming. I thought he could win some games, but he's been really special. He's been one of the not only best guys in the conference, best guys in the country, and it's been great for us, and it's been fun to watch. But you guys know Michael. He's a special young man. I mean, he's a tremendous student. He understands athletics. He knows how to compete. He knows how to handle himself, in difficult situations between the lines. And a lot of times he's able to have success because of that.
Can you talk about the challenges that Alabama poses your team and Taylor Dugas specifically?
Well, when I think about Alabama, I think about Dugas. I mean, if he's on base, you're in trouble. He's the guy. He was last year. He flirted with 400 the entire year, and his numbers aren't quite as good this year. But he's the guy that makes them go. And if he's on base a bunch this weekend, our chances aren't what we want them to be. No question about that. And certainly, they got Brock Bennett's their top hitter right now in the SEC, and Gilchrist has been really good at times, and Morgan and Smart's got 9 saves for him. He started a few games, but he's been out of the bullpen. They got, they shut out LSU 2 weeks ago 2 times. So, they battled. They had the Auburn-Alabama battle last weekend, but Dugas is a key to this series. If we can limit his opportunities to scoot around the bases, it gives us a better chance to win. He's a catalyst.
Any other questions for Coach? All right.